Good evening, it's Sunday.
Hello.
Good evening, it's Sunday, April 6th, 2025, the 5th week of Lent. And it's my pleasure and honor to be speaking with Mr. John J. Jeckovich. How are you doing today?
Good, good.
You're looking well.
Thank you.
Did you have a nice dinner, Mr. Jeckovich?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Jeckovich, we referred to him as a humble hero because we didn't know he was in combat during the Battle of Bulge and many other combats during World War II. Mr. Jeckovich was in Company H, the 2nd Battalion of the 291st Regiment of the 75th Infantry Division of the U.S. Army during World War II. Mr. Jeckovich lives by the motto, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift. Yes, sir. Boys and girls, it's a short dance around the sun. So enjoy it now. Enjoy it now. Mr. Jeckovich said at one time, he remembers when he was 20, and he blinked his eyes, and now you're 100.
Yeah.
Wow. How fast that went. Wow. By the way, Mr. Jeckovich jogged for 80 years, never took a prescription or a vitamin, and he's got abundant health. He's got wonderful health. The only thing that happened is his knees blew out from jogging for 80 years.
And also from the war.
From the war also, but parachuting. But primarily he's in great health. Every morning he's delivered 3 newspapers, including the Wall Street Journal, and he reads them page to page with no glasses at all. Find me some 40-year-olds that read with no reading glasses.
Yeah, good luck.
Good luck. Also, by the way, if you're 40, you have a 10% chance of making it to 100. Really. So Mr. Jeckovich beat the system. He beat the system. So we're starting his book all over again. We read the whole, how many pages?
849.
We read the entire 849 pages, and now we're starting from the beginning, and every time we read a different chapter, we learn something new. We're on chapter 4, when Mr. Jeckovich is on leave during boot camp with his friend Smith, and they're visiting Smith's girlfriend in in Owensboro, Kentucky, just outside of Evansville, Indiana. So that's where the story we're at today. Oh, by the way, if you need to text Mr. Jeckovich, text him at 407-366-0000. 407-366-0000. Mr. Jeckovich will respond to all text messages. Many times a day we get several different texts, but the one that comes in often is, how much is your book and where can I buy it?
Can't buy it.
Can't buy it. It's never for sale, never will be for sale. It's a book not about money. Mr. Jeckovich certainly doesn't need money. He's well off. But it's about teaching and showing a young generation how to have their life simpler, more wholesome, and easier. Simpler, easier, and wholesome. There's a lot of good messages in that book. So Mr. Jeckovich's mind is like a library. So if you need to ask him questions, simply text him. And oh, by the way, there were 16,400,000 young men and women during World War II. Now we have less than 6,000 actual combat veterans left. Less than 6,000. All the rest are gone. We're losing them at a rate of 150 per day. So do the math. Here's the real deal. You want to ask a real combat veteran of World War II, also in the Battle of Bulge, the coldest winter on record, where they held Bastogne with 97% casualties, and to the airplanes could come in and help. It was so cold and the snowing and horrible conditions they couldn't get no air support. 3 days later they did. 97% gone. He made it, mostly primarily of the prayers of his mother Anna Targus Jeckovich, she prayed the rosary nightly for his safety, and so did a former nun in Paris, France, Renee. She prayed the rosaries often for Mr. Jeckovich. Yeah. So, there we go. That's where we're at. Mr. Jeckovich, while he was in World War II, he was shot by a sniper in the shoulder, a dirty bomb, still a shrapnel in his leg,
Lost a hip.
lost a hip, trench foot, frostbite.
Yeah, I got that trench foot tonight, look.
Frostbite still bothers him today.
Yeah.
Dirty bomb, shrapnel. You know, he's been beat up, stabbed. You named it. He received it, but he survived. He survived. His other good buddy in the service was also a teenager. He wasn't street smart. He was a nice guy, wasn't street smart. Street smart. His name was Donald Lape. He was in the same foxhole when that dirty bomb hit Mr. Jeckovich. Dirty bomb is like a bomb that Nazis would blow over your head, consisting of tools and razors and bolts, and anything nasty that could shatter into your body. His buddy, teenager, Donald Lape, at the same bomb got his head blown off. Mr. Jeckovich removed the glasses. He had one glass hanging from one ear, closed his eyes and took one dog tag, and wrote a beautiful letter to his mother and father. A beautiful condolence letter to his mother and father. So the war is a very bloody and horrible thing, and unfortunately we had wars from the beginning of time, and we'll continue to have them. No war will never end. It's never-ending wars. You're under the illusionary notion if you think wars will end. You're under the illusionary notion if you think peace and love and giving in to your enemy will stop a war. No, it'll make the wars stronger. The man that can fight is the man that is right. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. That's how it is. And who hates the war the most? The combat soldiers on the front line. They hate the wars the most, that's for sure. So I'll pick up on chapter 4, Mr. Jeckovich, but I'll need your dog tag number.
42965.
Okay. As I said, Mr. Jeckovich is on a weekend pass with his buddy Smith, and a meeting up with Smith's girlfriend, and they had a nice weekend together, and Smith's girlfriend brought another lady named Renee that Mr. Jeckovich dated during that weekend. But we're over that now, and they're going back, and he's back to reality and fighting in the basic training. The training intensified even more. We're getting close to shipping out. So when you knew that training was getting intensified, you knew it's getting close. Right?
Say again?
When the training at basic camp got more serious, got more intensified, you knew you're getting ready to ship out.
Yeah.
At that time, you didn't know if you were going to Europe or the Pacific.
Yeah, we were sweating it out.
And how about if you would have asked an officer what
They wouldn't tell you.
Wouldn't have given you time of day, right?
Yeah.
All right, okay. The training intensified even more, and we went from a squad platoon level to a company battalion range. We were seeing more of the top brass. Major General Fay B. Pickett, how was him?
Pickett? Yeah, he's a good guy, yeah.
Okay. And Major General Ray Porter,
Porter,
good guy, who would be in the midst of overseeing our training and even asking questions of some of our enlisted men. On a rainy Saturday afternoon, the entire battalion was out on a live artillery range. This is where we were in close coordination with the rest of the battalion on a frontal assault problem, the infantry artillery firing live rounds. What do you remember about that?
well, they got that mixed up. We got caught in the fireworks.
Oh, really?
Artillery was coming in on us.
Wow. Sergeant Baker, how was he?
Yahoo.
Okay. Sergeant Bacon was panic-stricken as there was a great deal of brass about, and he would become non-performing when he had to give orders on how to deploy his squad in an assault of this magnitude. I observed his incompetence. Was there a lot of incompetence in the service?
Yeah.
Yeah, you fast forward 80 years, almost 99% of the government workers are incompetent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, true. I wondered what he would be like in actual combat. Did Sergeant Baker ever go to combat with you?
No.
Never did, huh? The other members of the squad felt the same. And ultimately came down to Fink to make a decision and where to place the gun. We all knew that later, back at the camp, Baker would talk to us if he had the entire situation under control. Fink would say nothing, as was our inclination also. So after the fact, Baker said that he had it all under control, right?
Oh, yeah.
The exercise lasted until dark, and we were wet, cold, and hungry. We could not wait until we got the order to march back to camp. It was an hour's march back to the company, where we were told that hot chow would be available shortly. Was the food in the Army good?
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Food's good, always
What
good.
was one of the famous meals?
One of the famous meals,
Yeah.
breakfast was ham and eggs, bacon, milk, coffee.
It was all good, right?
Yeah.
We were told we'd have hot chow waiting for us. After a hot shower and dry clothes, things looked a little brighter. I could not help thinking of what it would be like in an actual combat with no hot showers, dry clothes, or a hot meal to look forward to. And how many months did you go without in combat without a hot meal and shower?
Oh, 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah. As usual, Sergeant Meadows had a hot meal all prepared for us at the mess hall. As we sat eating and talking, the conversation was about the field problem we just came off. It was the time that most of us learned of the accident in the area several miles west of our position. It seemed as though a movement had wandered into a live danger area where they were caught in an artillery barrage. At first, their early medical report was serious multiple injuries due to shrapnel, but not life-threatening. But later that he died and never regained consciousness. Do you remember that incident?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, they shut everything down. They got radios called, shut everything down.
Wow.
They got all screwed up on that plague.
Wow. We were not afforded much free time and were pretty much restricted to the company. I would occasionally go over to the other barracks and see what Lane and Larson were up to. They were also griping about the exhaustive days and putting in and wondering, as the rest of us, when the Army was going to let up on us. Larson showed me the latest picture of his wife and children, and I thought that must be extremely painful to be away from your immediate family and not see them for months on end. I knew I missed my mother and sister, but I imagined that was a little different from being married to someone and having several small children you don't see for long periods of time. I was relieved that I did not have this problem. Lane was a great deal more introverted than Larson. We both, Larson and I, were of the opinion that we were having a difficult time adjusting to Army life, and in particular, the wicked accelerated pace they were going through in our training. Whenever Lane would put his personal guard down and relax a little, we both would listen intently to what he had to say. He missed his family intensely and would, on a rare occasion, take out a picture from his wall to show it to us. He also talked about his life at home, his job, his parents, who lived close by. They would all go on picnics to the lake on weekends. In the winter, go tobogganing and sledding. He missed the changing of the seasons and thought the South was one big boring season all year round. What do you think of the South weather?
Well, like you said, a boring season all the way around.
You'd rather be in the 4 seasons,
Yeah,
right?
4 seasons, yeah.
We would usually all wind up at the PX and listen to loud country music on the jukebox over a beer and a Coke. Did you drink beer there?
No, no.
I liked these little friendly chats, and although I did not talk much about myself, contrary to Lane and Larson, they never seemed to notice. Minutes, please. We were scheduled for a 25-mile hike right after breakfast the next morning, with light combat packs and individual weapons. The march would take us out of camp area onto a country road for 12.5 miles, almost to the small town of Morganfield. At the 12.5-mile marker, we would turn around and march back to camp. Sergeant Rupert, how's Sergeant Rupert?
I was an old guy, ex-Army.
Sergeant Rupert never accompanied us on any of these hikes, nor did Sergeant Whalen. How was Sergeant Whalen?
Sergeant was for sergeant.
Or any other else from the headquarter platoon. As it was the middle of June, it would be quite warm towards the middle of the day, and everyone commenced to sweat profusely. Uppermost in everyone's mind was the provision that no one wanted to fall out of the hike due to fatigue, sore feet, or heat exhaustion. I had never fallen out, but seen some of the men who had. They were completely exhausted on several instances and had to be transported back to the base hospital by ambulance that accompanied us. So you had an ambulance following you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Captain Goodnight, how was he?
He was a good guy, yeah.
Captain Goodnight and most of our other officers were usually what made the hikes with us, with a possible exception of Lieutenant Cummings. How was he?
Cummings, he was the new first lieutenant.
What's that?
He was the new first lieutenant.
Was he any good?
Well, just starting.
Usually on a 10-minute break, which occurred every hour, Captain Goodnight and some of the other officers would go up and down the column, checking anyone for sore feet, heat exhaustion, and generally boosting our morale. PFC Romano, the platoon medic, was busy patching blistered feet and giving out salt tablets to prevent heat exhaustion. I did not suffer much from blistered feet, either because I would sprinkle my foot and boots with foot powder or I just had toughened feet. I noticed that Lane was having a difficult time making a hike. It was not his feet, but it was heat and walking. We were at fairly a rapid pace, 120 steps per minute. That's pretty fast.
Yeah.
50 minutes out of every hour. Wow. Do you feel like answering any questions?
Yeah, go ahead.
You feel up to it?
Yeah.
Okay. If there's some questions in here you don't like, don't answer from them. They're from people from all walks of life, and it might be important to them and not to us, but we'll still try to do our best. Mr. Jeckovich, where were you stationed during the war?
Europe.
Would you have rather gone to Europe or the Pacific?
I stayed in Europe.
Why did you want to go to the Pacific?
No, I didn't want to go to the Pacific.
How did you feel when you learned about the atomic bomb?
Atomic bomb? Well, I stopped the war.
Stop the war. What do you remember about D-Day?
D-Day? Well, I was skating on the creek back home on Jill Creek.
You were too young to be in the service.
Yeah, and Sunday afternoon, I got back for lunch, and my mother said they're starting the war all over again.
Yeah. Wow. Mr. Jeckovich, where did you spend most of your time at basic training?
Basic training?
Most of your time at what camp?
What camp? Breckenridge.
Breckenridge. And that's in Evansville, Indiana?
Yeah, yeah.
1031.
Okay. How old when you were drafted?
19.
19. Yeah.
33.
33 is the code, the military code number for teenagers. Teenagers usually turn out to be the best fighters with the most stamina during the war. What was your family like What was your family life like before the war?
At home,
Yes.
it was a regular family. We had fed. We were well clothed, well liked, well loved.
Mr. Jeckovich, where were you born and raised?
Niagara Falls, New York, which I hate to say now.
Why?
Well, Niagara Falls is a dump.
How was it when you're growing up?
Oh, beautiful, beautiful place. Yeah.
Yeah. Niagara Falls had many, many working immigrants that made big businesses. There was Greeks, mostly Polish and Italians.
Yeah.
And boy, oh boy, some of those mansions they had on Buffalo Avenue were amazing.
Yeah, Tone was there. Tone was there.
Franchip Tone you worked for, right?
Yeah.
All kinds of factories there.
Yeah.
So someone could come in from another country and find a job right away in Niagara Falls, right?
Yeah.
It was nice. And at one time, believe it or not, the neighboring city had more millionaires in Buffalo, New York than any other city in the United States. That's at one time, over 110 years ago.
Oh, Buffalo, New York. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, Buffalo's a big city.
yeah, yeah. What kind of work did you do before joining the military as a teenager?
Well, I worked with my uncle,
And who was that?
my Uncle Andy.
Right, right.
I'd go on jobs with him,
And what company was that?
Crosdale,
Okay. And that was located on Monroe Avenue?
on 27th Street.
But isn't it funny, back then, aluminum business or some type of steel business wasn't allowed to, and they operated their business right in the middle of the residential area?
Oh, yeah, he was had a big shop right in the middle on 27th
Right
Street.
in the middle. Houses on each side, right?
Yeah.
Wow. And wasn't there in your neighborhood, there's a lot of delicatessens?
Do I?
Delicatessens. You go to this one or that one, and they're right in the neighborhoods too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Jeckovich, what was your reaction to the war end?
Lauren?
Yeah, what was your reaction?
Well, I was relieved. I didn't have to go to the Pacific. No, we were worried about the Pacific now.
And then after you found out you weren't, were you happy?
Well, then they gave me an honorable discharge.
Yeah, with many medals. Mr. Jeckovich, what was your initial impressions of military life? What did you think about it?
It was regulated. They took care of you. They had a sincere desire to take care of you. That was their mission.
So it was pretty nice then. Pretty nice then.
Yeah.
How was your life experiences affected after you came home from the war? What did you do then?
I got a job.
Okay.
Worked the Kimberly Clark.
Were you competing with a lot of other GIs to get work?
No, you had to go report every week to the unemployment office.
Okay. Did you have any challenges? Did you face any challenges readjusting to civilian life?
No, not too many, no.
No. Was your mother demanding of you of chores she gave you?
Oh, yeah, she gave me all kinds of orders. She had a whole list of stuff when I got out.
Every day you had something to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. She had it waiting for you. Are you in contact with any of your fellow soldiers? From
No.
How'd you cope with stress and dangers of combat? How'd you cope with the stress?
Try to stay alive.
What was your role in the war, in combat? Were you infantry, medic, or pilot?
Infantry.
I see. Yeah, I see. Do you believe the lessons of World War II are still relevant today?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What is the most important thing you want people to remember about your generation?
We're known as a ideal generation.
The greatest generation.
Yeah, yeah.
And I agree with that. And I agree with that.
I don't think it's like the kids today.
Well, here's the next
Kids are irresponsible today.
Yeah. Here's the next question. How do you view the world today compared to the world you grew up in?
Well, it's a lot hectic, more hectic, more uncertain.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's true. During World War II, have you ever been on a submarine?
No,
No. Are you an introvert or extrovert?
introvert, extrovert.
Did you get along with your in-laws?
Never.
Did you get along with your in-laws?
Well, my mother didn't get along with. I didn't get along with them.
Okay.
She got along with Uncle Andy, but Uncle John, we didn't see much of.
Okay. Whatever happened to Uncle Johnny?
Well, he got killed in a motorcycle accident. He had that stupid motorcycle.
Oh no. What was your typical breakfast like during the war?
At home,
Yeah.
oatmeal and brown sugar. Slice of bacon, and a couple of scrambled eggs.
You were an usher for many years, right, as a teenager?
Yeah.
But later in life, when you went to movies, later in your life, did you ever walk out of a movie before the film was over?
Oh yeah.
For what reasons?
I didn't like it.
Didn't like it? Okay. How good is your willpower?
My willpower, I think, is pretty moderate.
Okay. You had many jobs, you wore many hats. Mr. Jeckovich, could you ever be a mortician?
A what? A mortician? No.
No. Okay. Okay. You remember the girl you had your first crush on as a boy?
As a boy, Bazzelli from Bazzelli's, what the hell, they had a dairy, Bazzelli's Dairy, yeah.
That's a pretty good memory. How did your parents meet?
My parents meet? They didn't meet in Europe, they came here individually.
Okay, so they met in the United States. Wow, that's something. During the war, have you ever been scuba diving?
Scuba? No, in the war? No.
Are you interested? Were you ever interested?
No, scuba dive, no.
When you were a boy, did you ever own any goldfish?
How?
When you were a boy, did you ever own any goldfish?
Yeah, we had a little tank at home, yeah.
Did you have a cat?
No. Well, we had a cat that's passed away, I buried it.
What was the cat's name?
Lucky.
How did it die?
Old age, I guess.
Did you ever have a dog?
No.
Did you ever have chickens?
No.
Oh. I thought you had
Chicken? What the hell want chicken?
for eggs.
The woman across the street had chickens.
I thought for eggs you'd like them. Wow.
1 minute.
Okay. Are you a clean or messy person?
You know what?
Are you a clean or messy person?
Neat.
Was your mother a clean or messy person?
She was clean.
How about your father? Was he a clean or messy person?
But what he did, he was clean and neat, yeah.
I see. Your mother was a devout Roman Catholic. Did your father also a Catholic?
Yeah, he was a Catholic, but he didn't practice as much as my mother did.
Oh, tell us why he didn't.
Well, that's just the way he was.
Right.
30 seconds.
And did you go to church with your mother much?
Oh, yeah.
Did you go to St. Stanislaus?
No, we went to Holy Rosary.
Our Lady of Rosary. I see. Did you drive your mother there or did you walk?
No, I drove her. When I was driving, when we had a car, yeah.
I see. Did you and your other brothers go with your mother to church?
Oh, yes, Sundays, yeah, and then we go to Mario's for the paper.